Hello everyone, and welcome to today's video where we will be ranking rock-pooling creatures. As a marine biologist, I love all sea creatures, most of them, all of them, and this is going to be really hard. I feel like my it's so blank. Usually I have all my art up. It all fell down. It all fell apart. What I had it hanging on. So we're in the midst of rejigging that, but we still have the whale with a little magic hat on. I can't do the thing. Magic hat is there, I hope. Just to keep the theme of the channel. Lots of magic recently. If you haven't seen my 5-hour long D&D game when you've got 5 hours spare, you can go and check that out. But in today's video, it's not going to be 5 hours long, but we are going to be ranking at least 5 different marine creatures. So to do this, we're going to be heading over to my website. So if you don't know, I also have a website called Marine Mumbles, and there is a free, completely free species list full of art and photos and descriptions and links to videos, all on, I think there's about close to 100 species on there. And so that I don't know what we're going to be doing, we're going to be using a random number generator to do at least 5 species. We're going to start with 5, and then we are going to be ranking them into tiers. Now, the tiers that we are going to be ranking them into are, let's just sort that out on my screen. So this is the species list. This is the list from my website that we're going to be looking at. It's all sorted. Instead of going like taxonomically, where it'd be like crustaceans and arthropods and all that kind of stuff, it's sorted into lots of easier stuff. So crabs, fish, sea stars, sea snails, seaweeds, anemones, shells that are attached to surfaces, sea slugs, worms, other species that can move, other species that don't move, seabirds and marine mammals. There's quite a lot in this other species that can move and other species that don't move, because wonderfully the ocean is full of very weird things. So this tends to just be like, other? Does it move? Yes, no, put them in those groups. Oh, and my laptop is going to run out of battery. Give me a second. Well, that's quite funny. Should have plugged that in before we started. No problem, just rookie errors, and we're plugged in. Okie dokie. So we're going to be ranking them by these ranks here. Now, let's swap it so that you can see me like this. Nope, that's not the one I wanted. Nope. That one, is that better? What's better? That's better, so you can see all of them. Okay, okie dokie. So here we have top number 1, barnacle. I'm sorry, we can have an argument in the comments if you want, but it's not really an argument sort of thing. Barnacles are the best. They are the best. They are awesome. If we get a barnacle, it's going in barnacle tier. If not, everything else is going to be based on, is it as good as a barnacle? It's not the top tier, it is the barnacle tier. It is above that. It is barnacle level. It's what we're all aspiring to be. Then top, then mid tier. Now this last tier, now I have to say, is very I don't want to put the low tier. I don't want to give any species a bad rep. I don't want to chuck out there that any species is terrible, but I'm gonna have to, it's the point of this challenge is to tier stuff. So what I've done instead is called it, has a great place in this ecosystem, but for this challenge only, it's a meh from me. I will just repeat that a bit slower. Has a great place in this ecosystem, but for this challenge only, it's a meh from me. So that's what the low tier is now called. Feel free to call the low tier of whatever you tier in the future. Not that there's often tiers and things, or there shouldn't be. Just call it that. That's the new word for low. In fact, next time you put low in a sentence, like, I don't know, that shelf is very low, just say that shelf has a great place in this ecosystem, but for this challenge only, it's a meh from me. And then people will know what you mean. Because this YouTube channel has such an impact on the world that I've basically just stopped the word low from happening. You may not hear it again after today. You might just hear this sentence. So let's get on with picking our species. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different categories. Let's pick our first species with our number generator between 1 and 12. Can I hear a drum roll? 2. Oh, it's a fish species. Oh, nice. Okie dokie. Fish species, a go. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fish species to choose from. Chuck in the comments down below if you're watching this. Even if you're not watching it live, chuck down below which fish species you'd like to see. Just out of interest, I'm intrigued whether you'd want all of these. Again, if you want to follow along, you could just go check out my website and you can see these a bit better quality than on the video. Okay, the reveal of the fish species is number 6. A dab. Ooh, could you see the movement? I stopped myself. I'm not going to be that person. So we will download. Oh, that's fancy writing. I didn't know that was on the website. Open. I'm just going to do this so that I can save it properly. Okie dokie. Let's go chuck our dab into. Give me a second. I've not been. That was a test picture. Chuck that in. Okie dokie. So, oh no, wrong one. Give me a second. Rightio, here we go. So, a dab. I hope this is a dab now, this picture. Flatfish are particularly tricky. Some are not. Some have like spots, which I think is a place. But a lot of it relies on you looking at its lateral line. Can you see the mouse on this? You can't see the mouse. You can see the mouse here. That's a shame. So a lateral line, if you imagine from where its eye is, you can kind of see that there's like a straight line. That is a line on a fish that senses things, a bit like Spidey senses from Spider-Man. And it will follow certain shapes, and there's certain stuff like that that you need to use in certain things, in whether it's a left-eyed fish or a right-eyed fish. I have a video on that. It won't be linked now because it's live, but it will be linked in the future when I go back and chuck in the details for this. So, it doesn't hit barnacle tier for me. I'm not feeling it. Mainly because I like the small weird stuff, and a flatfish is weird, which puts it higher up than some other fish, but lower than some of maybe the marine invertebrates. You've got a backbone. Yeah. Again, this is a challenge, so I'm being controversial. I love all sea creatures, but the fact it's got backbone, we're dropping it down into potentially top or mid tier. Now, when comparing with other stuff, it doesn't have spots, and it's hard to ID because it doesn't have spots like a place, which is probably the only thing that have spots on a solar net. So I'm gonna could even drop it down a bit further. Let's think about it from a less ID perspective. Let's think about it from, is this fish doing good? It's a very tasty fish, I think. Depending on whether you eat fish or not. There are flatfish, right, that you find in the rocky shore that are teeny weeny, stuff like turbot. I don't know if I've ever found a baby turbot, but they are found on the rocky shore. And turbot are one of the biggest fish you can find in the sea, at least around the UK anyway. I think that's so cool that they go from like being like this big to like an absolutely massive thing. So it's not. I'm going mid tier. It doesn't get a meh. Oh, that's the other rule I should say. One of them has to go in meh, so we might rearrange it later on. But I'm making sure that at least there's one in each of the tiers. And potentially, if this is something that you like, please let me know, because we can like do different stuff. Like we can take all of the has a great place in this ecosystem, but it's meh only, and get a winner from that if we carry on and we can get the best barnacle tier and stuff like that, and we can make it into a challenge, because I'm looking for ideas to keep doing for the lives, because it's still going to be a while until, unfortunately, I can get things back on. Alan says hello back to you. I'm imagining that is how it is said, with enthusiasm, so thank you very much for the long hello. We are going to pick our next species. Please let me know what kind of species you think you would like to see. We've got all of these different options. I'm very excited. That was quite easy. I was like, meh, it's a fish. I really like fish. I really do. I just, apparently not enough. Okay, number 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, 8. Oh no, wait, I'm at the top. Oh, number 9 is a type of worm. See, this is when you see what type of marine biologist I am. I just went, it's a fish. Meh. A worm. Okie dokie. We've got less worms. Oh no, we haven't. What? 1, 2, 3, 7. Number 7. Again, for anyone watching, you can go on my website to check this out and follow along. Number 2. Oh, I didn't look. I should have said what the ones were. Oh, these are so cool. Okay, it's not any of these. Number 2 is if you haven't worked out from my reaction what tier that might go in. What is with this fancy writing on my website? I'm sure I didn't set any of it up to be fancy. Why would you want? I need to go and check that something has not gone wrong with that. Sorry, you just have to put up with the slight trying to work out. Okay, so this is it's so cool. It's so, I can't believe that got picked. That's fantastic. Okie dokie. What are we doing? Does anyone watching, or anyone watching even live or not live, have a favourite creature that they're hoping pops up in this rankings? Because if it doesn't pop up this time, I will keep doing these. And I will keep doing stuff like this. Right, okay, zoom back in. Let's set it so that we're like this. I don't know why, I've just decided that I'm going to change it up. Okay, so it doesn't look like much. In fact, what it just looks like, you could say, is honeycomb. Hence, it's a honeycomb worm. But what this worm does, and I don't know, have I done a video on it? I don't think I have. I think I've spoken about it on social medias. So this will be new information, hopefully. These are a protected species. If you find a honeycomb worm, they are grounds, or they are protected they're basically on a list that says if this is in an environment, then it really helps us get protection for that environment, because it does so much. This worm is like worm amazing. It's one of those worms that just does so much for the community, and because it builds these tubes, now it does this to protect itself. In those little holes will be hundreds and thousands of tiny worms that each one lives in a tube, and it forms this honeycomb layer of sand, and the sand builds together and it forms these big where I went rock pooling in like someone like in Swansea, where Mumbles is, what Marine Mumbles is named after. Next to that is a place called Bracelet Bay, and at the bottom of that there are these big, like, they look like big rocks of these amazing Sabellaria is the name of the worm, and honeycomb worm is the common name. Reefs that you have to be really careful not to stomp on, because you don't want to damage them, but they're just fantastic. They look like coral reefs made of worms, which, doesn't sound like the coolest, but what they do is they provide this new environment. You get all of this wonderful, all of these has like little places for like other little creatures to live, and because it forms these big things, some places are protected from the big waves hitting. Things can live in it, and behind it provides food for stuff. It just does so much more for the community than, like, say, just anything else. Anything that's not like kelp is the same. Like a kelp holdfast will do stuff like that, and so it's just like this amazing thing. And the fact that it comes from a worm, which most people think are gross and boring, and they're not, and they're cool. Some are gross and boring. This one is not. It is going in the barnacle tier. It rightfully deserves its place right at the top. And this is responsible for actually helping protect a lot of marine zones and marine areas, which is just incredible that a worm has so much impact on the wider community. So this can help protect the entire rocky shore just if it rocks up. So that is God tier. Not God tier, sorry. Barnacle tier. Oh, messed up. I've been watching the ranking videos. Has anyone else done that? You fall down the YouTube rabbit hole, and I changed it to barnacle. I will barnacle tier. Right, let's pick our next species. 1, 2, 12 of them. To remember that. What are we hoping for? Well, what are we hoping for? I'm hoping not for barnacle because we've already got one in the barnacle tier. So, and I have to put one in each tier. I'm doing 5, so I've really only got a little bit of wiggle room. Number 1. It's a crab. Oh, I can't not put any crabs. See, this is when it's going to get hard because I'm so desperate for it. Okay, there's a lobster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Oh, I'm nervous now. Generate 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. An edible crab. Oh. Okay, all of the thing are fancy fonts. I need to change that. Which picture should we pick? He's a little cutie. Let's pick this one. I have literally thousands of photos of different species that haven't been uploaded yet, that will get uploaded. So stick around because within the next year, I hope to get them up as soon as I've got this never-ending PhD done. I will be providing lots of lovely more photos because I've got they're so cute. Aren't they so cute? I've got a lot of cute things with this. Okie dokie. Super cute. Edible crab. Okay. I'm going to put it between barnacle and top tier, and depending on the other species that we get, because we're going to do 5 at least. I think 5 because yeah, actually it's going on for a while. 5 species, and there has to be at least one in each tier. So we can double up. We could have the crab in the top tier, but there are better crabs. I hate to say it, but I love the crabs that are small and tiny and aggressive because they just look like they can take on the world. And I feel like mine are like taking on the world with aggression. That's a great way to be more crab. You know, you're like, just go for it like a crab. These guys don't do that. They act like pebbles, where you find them on the rocky shore, because they're basically like a tank. They got big claws, big shell. They know they're super protected. So they look like little pebbles. And so when they lift it up, they're like, you know what? Like, it's very unlikely you're going to hurt me. I really can't be bothered to expend this energy on chasing you down because my crazy cousins over here, Mr. running around common shore crab, and the even... Oh, someone's hoping for a starfish. That's a good... So extracted. Yes, starfish. That would be really cool. Oh, no, because then I'd put that in the top 2. Oh, that's too good. Okay, so... So you've got this crab, and he's like the devil crab's over there, and it's aggressive, and you've got the common shore crab who's running around, and there'll be Scott lobsters jumping all over the place because they're like little ninjas. And this little crab is like, I'm just gonna sit here. They're not gonna hurt me. I'm good. You can literally put it up and put it in your hand like this, like a crab, like here, and like nothing. Like it will just sit there. It might run off after like 5 minutes of being like, are you done yet? Like, I'm bored. And they are like, it's difficult because when you get offshore, these guys get big. They're really important for like the fishing community. Edible crabs is what you eat, which brings a lot of livelihood and stuff. And they are really powerful. And they also can burrow, which is really cool. So the big claws, like, they can use that to like sift through the sand and like dig up stuff to eat. It's like, I can't be bothered to run. I'm just gonna, sit here and eat in some form of like weird sand buffet. I'm sure there's more that goes into it than that, but for the sake of this. But which kind of means that they're good for holding. They won't scare kids if they hold them. But like, they're just not as fun because they act like a pebble, and pebbles are not as fun because otherwise I'd be a geologist. No shade to the geologists, but like, it's a pebble. This is the problem with lives. They're gonna be like, why is she going on live and giving shade to geologists? I think it's just a running joke between biologists and geologists. We all like the same things, really, I'm sure. Alan says he wants to see a nudibranch. Yes, I would love to see a nudibranch too. I'm now being like, how am I going to rank these? I knew this would be difficult. Like a lot of stuff, when you watch these ranking videos, you're like, why are you not putting it at the top? Or like, but it's so hard. I want to put them all at the top. Like, okay, so our next one, we've got 2 more species. One has to go in each of them. So what I'm hoping for is something really boring, which I don't know what that's going to be yet. This is a great ecosystem. We're in the ecosystem for this challenge, but only for this. Has a great place in the ecosystem, but for this challenge only, it's a meh from me, or a top species. I don't know what would go at the bottom. A top species would be like a colourful seaweed. This is the stuff I get stressed about. Not actually stressed. I'm a bit stressed. 1. Oh, it's someone says, looking for the website, surely things that don't move would be. No, barnacles at the top. Barnacles at the top tier. So things that don't move have like great okay, in problem I study for my PhD biofouling species, and every single species of those don't move. So that statement's a bit like I spend my life studying things that don't move. So I can kind of see where you're coming from, but in this particular instance, they probably would all be at the top of the list. The more stuff moves, it would potentially be like a seal that might end in there. Whoopsie. Okay, we're back to crabs. No, there's another crab. I don't know how I'm going to cope with this. I'll get through. I'll try and soldier on. Oh, this is my 4. Oh, I didn't look. What's 4? Species that do move then. Yes, species that do move. 4. No, a hermit crab. That's. Oh no, I'm gonna do this. I'm having a load of fun. This is a great way to like spark some like facts to tell you all, and also to like, again, the fancy writing. Okay, a Bernie. It's gonna have to be barnacle. It can't not be. It has to be. Like, it just has to be. I might not even explain why. That's not the point of the video, Elizabeth. Oh, sorry. Give me a second. I've got to save it to a. See, this is when you edit video and then you get rid of all this stuff. But it's live, so you're going to have to put up with some of the faff around saving images, which is apparently more than I thought it was. Okay. Oh no, wrong one. We don't have music, so I'll just start singing randomly. Right. Okay. The edible crab is lower, in my opinion, than the hermit crab. So the edible crab is going in top tier. The hermit crab is going to go at the top, and we just gotta hope, everyone, that potentially like a seal pops up in the bottom, because that is very much a moving creature. That's so bad. Seals are so good. This is no good. Okay, so this is a hermit crab. They are one of the best creatures on the entire planet. They are sneaky thieves because they don't even bother to grow their own shell. They steal the shell of dead snails, which aren't using them, to be fair. And then they steal the shells of other creatures. They are grumpy. They are the grumpiest creatures ever. Like, if another hermit crab comes near them, they go, they will fall off things and get grumpy. They will they will not stop being grumpy. But the funny thing about it is because they don't grow their own shell, and they're in this shell that's not quite the right size, and they're always looking for a better shell. They're so clumsy. So it's like, it's like clowns fighting. It's like, I'm so grumpy, I'm going to get annoyed, but during this fight, I have fallen over 3 times and accidentally hit you on the shell, which has done absolutely nothing. Like it makes 0 sense, which is really cool. I'm just having some slight technical difficulties. Would you give me a second? Oh no, we're all fine. Give me 1 second. Oh, there we are. Right, sorry everyone. Bit of technical glitches there between my 2 screens. Okay, so they're super grumpy, the most comical thing, but they are the most trusting creatures. You could be the loudest person on a rocky shore. You could be the most disruptive person on the rocky shore ever. You shouldn't be. There's no excuse for this whatsoever. But it just means that, like, if you've got like really potentially like energetic kids that might like, yeah, you know, like if you go into a rock pool and you splash about, all the species will disappear. You will need to leave it about 5 minutes before the species then start to come out again, because they just think it's some big thing that's scaring them. Let's just play it safe, disappear for a bit. There's lots of places to hide in a rock pool. We'll come back. A hermit crab would go, okay, that's about it. That is the exact time. They go in the shell and they go, okay, I'm not been eaten in the 2 seconds that you've been here. Therefore, you must be a friend. And then they come out and continue their grumpy ways. So it's great to show kids, because if potentially a kid's not that interested, or it's hard to get them, which is fair enough, to get them to concentrate, or they're just really excited, hermit crabs will immediately be there to just be like, hi, nice to meet you. I'm just going to go on with my way. They're just the most loving things. And you can sit there and watch them. It's like this little city of grumpiness of when they like go around and they do stuff. And like, I seen them swap shells once, which was just amazing. You don't see it very often, but you can kind of clock the behavior. It will start to like get really tetchy, extra tetchy. And like, it hops out of a shell to the other. Because can you imagine how vulnerable that is? That's like, it's probably like the equivalent of like running across a road, potentially. Like, it's so dangerous for them to be to lose everything, to be right next to this giant human and to lose all protection for a couple of seconds and then get back in the shell. Like, it's that like, but it's so cool that they trust you to do that, and you can see it, which is just so fantastic. They're super colourful, and you should go and watch my glow in the dark video, because they glow in the dark. Oh, they're so cool. I love them so much. Barnacle tear. Oh no. Right, we've got one more. We're going to hope for something fluffy. Oh no. Oh dearie dear. Right, 1 to 12. Okie dokie. 2. It's a fish. Right, no. Do I cheat? Anyone watching? We've had 2 fish and 2 crabs. I feel like we should make sure that we are picking from a category that we don't have. Do we agree? Anyone? I'm just doing this to the excuse that I don't pick something. Yeah, we're going to go again. We're going to go again and pick from a category we haven't had, just for the last one, just to make it a bit more interesting. 9. Have we had 9? 1, 2. Yes. What? 7. Okay. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shells that are attached. If we get a barnacle, please tell me there's more than barnacles in here. And mussels are cool. Shells that are attached are like my favourite. Oh, and I put limpets in here too. Right. This is not good, people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh no. If this is a barnacle, we're in trouble if this is a barnacle. This is tense stuff, everyone. 5. Yes. Okay, it's a saddle oyster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Right. Okie dokie. Yeah. I've got justification for putting this in the bottom. I'm sorry. Right. Save. This is really funny. Okie dokie. Rightio. Could I sound any more British in that statement? This is a saddle oyster. I will put its benefits first. Didn't know it existed until a couple of years ago. Thought they were just baby oysters, or hadn't seen them before. Really cool. There's these little oysters that they've got two shells. One that sticks on the bottom, but it's a bit of a useless thin shell that's at the bottom, and one that goes on the outside. They stay about this size. They're no bigger than a fingernail. That I mean, that would depend on different people, but actually that kind of all fits to about fingernail size maximum, to the range of to a tiny stuff. The reason, and the only reason I'm going to put this in the bottom, and it has a great place in the ecosystem, is because I found these in my PhD. So I had to identify this a lot. I am months into years. I'm years into this PhD. I am many months deep, just into the data and the writing and all of the species, and I'm doing it on top of a job. I'm a little bit tired, and so for that, just because I had to ID a lot of these, and I was pleased when they rocked up because they're easy to ID, but just because I'm associating that with finishing this PhD, and right now the PhD is not my favorite thing in the world, still liking the PhD, doing it, just one of those things where you're at the end of something, and everything else that's new and shiny looks more interesting. It's going to go in there. Has a great place in the ecosystem, but it's a meh from me this time. Okie dokie. Well, that was a load of fun. I might actually do this more often. Please let me know if you'd like to. If I keep this like this, I might come back to it every now and again with different weeks and stuff, which would work really well. I've really enjoyed this. This was a great way to spark telling you some stuff, and I've enjoyed it being live, and it's great for those who joined in. But those who haven't, I check the comments all week or all the time. So please let me know your thoughts and answer well, I suppose I can't say answer the questions to the go because you just got to the end of the video, so that makes no sense. Yeah, this has been super fun. Let me know if you liked it, and I hope you have a fantastic week. How would you rank them? Let me know how you would rank them, because I imagine it would be slightly different. And so I'm interested to see where you would lead. Maybe we can also have on my social media, if you like it enough, the community vote for what it is. And if we carry on doing this, then we will have some sort of battle to the final barnacle, or battle to the best. Has a great place in the ecosystem, but for this challenge only, meh. It's a meh from me. I almost got that right. Have a fantastic week, everyone. I have massively enjoyed this evening hanging out with you all, and I will see you next week for potentially a very exciting video. They're all exciting, right? But a little bit extra special. Okay, have a great week, everyone. Bye.